Good morning. My name is Vivek Kumar Singh, and this is my hydrocarbon engineering presentation, and my topic is thermal conversion process. So this is the sample representation of oil refinery. So before moving on to thermal conversion process, we have to just give a brief intro about what is an oil refinery. So oil refinery or petroleum refinery is an industrial process plant where crude oil is transformed and refined into useful products such as petroleum, naphtha, gasoline, diesel, fuel oil, natural gas, etc. So given alongside is the diagram of pictorial representation of oil refinery where many units are attached. So the flow diagram of typical oil refinery. So this is the flow sheet of oil refinery, and this is the atmospheric distillation unit, the basic unit into which crude oil enters. It creates many sections or cuts, uh, like oil for gas, for light naphtha, heavy naphtha, jet fuel or kerosene, diesel, atmospheric gas oil, and below is the vacuum distillation unit where the residue or the bottom part of atmospheric distillation product gets further distilled. So there are many units for conversion like isomerization plant where isomerization reaction takes place, and catalytic reformer where where reaction in the presence of catalyst takes place, and below this is the delayed coker, and inside this uh, thermal conversion takes place. Also alkylation unit is there, hydrotreater is there, FCCU, hydrocracker. Many of the units requires heat energy, so directly related with the thermal conversion process. So what is the thermal conversion? So the thermal conversion process is used for conversion of all carbon containing organic and petroleum based materials into ecological fuels and specialty chemicals using temperature, pressure and reactivity of water. So the purpose of thermal conversion is to make light middle distillates from heavy ends by pyrolysis or thermolysis, which is sometimes termed as thermal cracking. So we directly move on to thermal cracking, which is the first subdivision of thermal conversion process. So thermal cracking produces shorter straight chain alkanes from longer straight chain found in gas oil or other crude oil fractions. A principal application of thermal cracking of distillate fractions in current refineries is limited to naphtha cracking for the purpose of producing ethylene for petroleum industry. However, thermal cracking of residual fractions, particularly VDR, is still practiced in association with visbreaking breaking and coking process in the refineries. Now, talking about the chemistry of thermal cracking. So, first step is the initiation, where any alkane molecule uh, undergoes initiation reaction in which there is a cleavage of homolytic bond, in which the alkane molecules gets split into two parts containing R1 radical and R2 radical. That is, cleavage takes place. Then propagation reaction occurs, which is hydrogen abstraction favored at high pressures, in which the free alkane radical further reacts with the alkane molecule to produce the radical free alkane molecule, and further alkane radical which undergoes into olefin and beta scission, which is favored at low pressure. Finally, termination reaction occurs. This reaction is responsible for stopping of the reaction. So radical combination occurs in which R4 radical and R5 radical combines to form a double alkane molecule, and disproportionation reaction occurs in which olefin and alkanes are formed. Also, we have isomerization reactions in which isomers are formed, which is generally not favored, and beta scission reaction occurs, which is faster than the isomerization reaction. Now the flow sheet. So thermal cracking process configuration is shown. where fractionator is the main component which separates or which forms the sections uh, of the heavy gas oil. The first one is the gas, which is olefin and alkanes. Then we have gasoline, then light gas oil, then light oil, then heavy oil, which is from the bottom. Then the thermal reactions takes place at a very high temperature and high pressure as well. First, the upper part consists of the vapor phase from the light oil, and the lower part consists of liquid phase from heavy oil. Then it goes on to the soaker, and finally to the fuel oil, where where both these components are termed as the separator. Now the second part of the thermal conversion process is vis breaking. So what is vis breaking? Vis breaking is a mild thermal cracking process applied to reduce the viscosity of VDR to produce fuel oil and some light products to increase the distillate yield in a refinery. So depending on the feedstock properties and thermal severity in the reactor, the process will typically achieve 10 to 25% of the conversion of heavy ends to gas, gasoline and distillates while producing fuel oil with the desired specifications. So moving on to the chemistry of vis breaking, a mild thermal cracking process to reduce viscosity and pour point of VDR to produce fuel oil. Uh, Here the bond gets broken uh, and the reaction occurs as shown. The it produces small quantities of coke, which is disproportionation not required. An alternative process is called cutting, which involves mixing of VDR with cutter stock such as kerosene. So further on the vis breaking process, for vis breaking, the feedstock is introduced into the coil heated in the furnace where thermal cracking reactions take place. At the furnace outlet, the reaction products are immediately quenched using a portion of gas oil product from the fractionator to stop the thermal cracking reactions. The quenched products are sent to the fractionator for separation into gas, gasoline, light gas oil, and vis broken residue streams. A stream stripper can be used with a fractionator for better separation of vis breaking products. Now, the types of vis breaking process. There are two types of vis breaking process. First one is the coil vis breaking, and other one is the soaker vis breaking, and the flow sheets of both of them are shown. Both of them consist of coils. The only difference is that it contains a soaker drum. So comparing the temperatures, it occurs at 885 to 930 degree Fahrenheit. It occurs at 800 to 830 degree Fahrenheit. uh, Soaker vis breaking requires more time as compared to coil vis breaking, and mostly the outer products are same: gas, gasoline, light gas oil, and heavy gas oil. So the third one in the thermal conversion process is the coking. Coking is the most severe thermal process used in refinery to treat the very bottom of the barrel of the crude oil, that is vacuum residue. Because of the high severity of thermal cracking during coking, the residue feed is completely converted to gas, light and medium distillates, and coke with no production of residual oil. Three different coking processes are used in refineries: delayed coking, fluid coking, and flexi coking. The common objective of three coking process is to maximize the yield of distillate products in refinery by rejecting large quantity of carbon in the residue as solid coke known as petroleum coke. So coking requires more temperature. So quickly moving on to delayed coking, this is the flow sheet of delayed coking, where it occurs at 475 degrees Celsius, 10 to 30 degree pressure, 10 to 30 psi pressure. And this is a coking drum, and it includes heating outlet temperature, pressure, recycle ratio, and coke. It generates a large amount of coke, about 20 to 30%. So the comparison between fluid coking and flexi coking, these are the two basically the two subdivisions of the coking. So both uh, takes the coker as a feed, and uh, fluid cooking process, it generates particles into here. And so this was basically the difference between the two cooking streams. So the conclusion is that the thermal conversion process is used for conversion of all carbon containing organic and petroleum based materials into useful fuels. The conversion into useful fuels takes place in the presence of heat energy, obviously, and thermal conversion consists mainly of thermal cracking, visbreaking, and coking, which have already been discussed. So, thank you.